which was to take out pollutions out of the ocean. That was important. I passed an education bill called the an Educational Opportunity Act, and that was to provide for funding for schools, particularly schools in areas that are poor. Because the way education is funded, as you may know, is with local property taxes. So in a town like this, which is a relatively wealthy town, there's a lot of property tax money, and you can have a good education like this. But in some of the cities particularly, you don't have a lot of property wealth, and therefore you don't have a lot of property taxes. Therefore you don't have a good school system, because the school system is funded for the most part on local property taxes. So what we did is change the formula a little bit to get more funds, state funds, into the poor urban communities to be able to lift them up to the same level. The other thing I passed was an assault weapon ban, a ban on having Uzis and AK-47s and things of that sort. We just determined that was not in the interest of the people of the state to have people around with those types of weapons. So we prohibited them from being sold and possessed in New Jersey. I think those are three of the laws that I'm most proud of.
Thank you.
And it's also interesting that the gun control laws, which are constantly being tried to be overturned, in New Jersey is the strongest legislation for gun control and has not happened yet. And it's something I think the public should understand, that if you have that in place, you don't want to lose that.
Hi, my name is Jessie. On May 24th, 1993, we received the John F. Kennedy Library Foundation's Profiles and Courage Award, in part because of efforts to take a stand for responsible gun ownership. What are your views on the current gun regulation in New Jersey?
Well, New Jersey, strangely enough, is regarded as the toughest law state in the nation in terms of dealing with gun violence. And that's really what we're talking about. We want to get some degree of control over guns so as not to have them out in the community, certainly not to have them in the hands of people who are dangerous, terrorists, things of that sort. New Jersey has probably the strongest laws, but the laws are really not that strong. There's still lots of things. For example, there was an effort to try to prohibit possession of .50 caliber guns. These are guns that military use to shoot down planes. I mean, these are guns that you don't need to go hunting. You never hunt with these things. The AK-47s and Uzis are guns that you don't use for anything that's legitimate. A hunting rifle, you can have a hunting rifle. You can have even a handgun if you have a permit and you have a real need for it. But we don't really do the things we should do. For example, on a national basis, if you are on the terrorism list to get on an airplane, they will stop you from getting on the airplane. If you are on the terrorism list to buy a gun, you can buy a gun even though you're on the terrorism list. It makes no sense whatsoever. So we need a lot more. This nation is just not very sensitive to the need for guns. We need to have greater degree of control over them, and we don't. New Jersey does the best job of all, but still we're not doing an adequate job.
Hello, my name is Robbie. What motivates you to teach at public policy at Edward G. Blaustein School at Rutgers University? And what is rewarding about working with college students?
Well, I've taught now for about 20 years. When I first came out of office, 94, I went to Rutgers. Blaustein School is the graduate school for public policy. I teach public policy with an emphasis on energy policy and environmental policy. And I've enjoyed it. I've now taken the senior status. I help out there. I take part. I give lectures from time to time. I don't have a full class that I'm running at this point. But it's been a very good experience. And over the 20 years, I've had great students come through who are now big deals. I mean, they're very prominent people who have come through school who have gone on to good careers. To the degree that I help them, that's very satisfying.
Thanks.
My name is Elena, and you won the John F. Kennedy Mary Profiles and Courage Award in 1993. How did it feel to win this award?
How did I?
How did it
How
feel
did it feel to win?
to win the award, the Profile and Courage Award? How did that feel?
It felt very nice. I mean, I had my family there. The Kennedy people showed up. Carolyn Kennedy, the daughter of President Kennedy, was there. Mrs. Kennedy, Jacqueline Kennedy, was there as well. Got a couple of nice pictures. But it was nice to be recognized. And what they did, they gave me the award on the charter for the gun control law, as well as financing education in the way that I said before. So those two things were the things that were dominating. I had some friends nominated me. And they worked very hard to get, I didn't even know anything about it. They nominated me and I got the call. They had been selected. So it's very satisfying.
Thank you.
So the next couple of questions, we were looking through the memorabilia that Florio generously dropped off yesterday. So the first question that we're going to ask is on the back, and Jesse's going to ask about President Clinton. While looking through the artifacts you shared with us, we noticed several pictures of you with former President Clinton and First Lady Hillary. What was it like to meet them?
It's like to be well, let me just say, yesterday I was with President Obama. He was down in Camden, New Jersey. He came to praise Camden for doing a lot of good things in terms of neighborhood community policing. Camden has been a very dangerous place for a number of years. But now what's happened is they have a new mayor. The new mayor is a very sensitive woman. Dana Red is her name. And what she said is we have to change the policing system here to have the police not be regarded as hostile to the people in the community, rather integrate them into the community. And now they have more walk-around police in the city of Camden. They have the police conducting sporting events for young people. And it's really changed in the last 2 years dramatically. So that was it. But President Clinton is a very charming fellow. I don't know if you say. He has a good sense of humor. He combines political skills, being able to chat with people and have a lot of fun with people, be nice to people. But he also is very smart. Sometimes you get somebody who's smart, but is not particularly well. President Carter was a very smart person, but he didn't have a real manner that was congenial, and therefore people didn't like him in some respects. It's silly. Personality matters a lot. I have to put more emphasis on your brain power and what you're trying to talk about, but President Clinton is the whole package. And he has good political skills, and he also is very intelligent.
You notice the pictures. Mrs. Clinton came to town quite a bit too, and that was on educational and healthcare issues. And she was touring, and we were with her. That's my granddaughter, who's now in college, with her over here. Tell them about this one. When
Now, that's Nelson Mandela.
Mandela.
Came to Newark Airport, and we met him. Yeah. And then he went on a couple tours.
Right. So that was quite an honor, you know, that you would be there. And you're signing legislation with President Carter here. This is the Profile on Courage Award.
We also have some pictures at home. I don't think we brought with sports figures.
To tell them what your other hobby is and what you do.
I enjoy boxing. I boxed when I was in the Navy. But we have Evander Holyfield, we have Mike Tyson, a couple of other boxers, pictures that we had, events that we went to. I used to go to the boxing matches down in Atlantic City. When you're governor, you get to have some privileges. So I got to. This is interesting.
You went to two.
It's interesting. The governor also gets a box up at the football stadium and has an opportunity to bring people there, about 15 to 20 people, to football games. And I'm from South Jersey, I'm from Camden, and so the Philadelphia Eagles were playing the New York Giants. We're in the room, there's 15 people there, mostly from this area. And the quarterback, his name was Randall Cunningham, scored a touchdown. I yell, ho! I was the only person in the box. All of them were Giants fans, and I was an Eagles fan by virtue of that.
That's South Jersey. But he continues his boxing with, we have a heavy bag in the garage, so he can put gloves on once in a while and just do upper body strength. It's fun. It shows all the grandkids how to do it too.
noticed your photograph taken with former President Jimmy Carter. Can you tell us about what is happening in this photo?
Yes, this one. What legislation are you signing,
Yeah.
remember?
That was, I was involved in transportation, I mentioned to you before.
Right.
That's the signing of the railroad deregulation bill. Again, I was very much involved. This one other fellow, Chairman Staggers, he was the Staggers of the chairman of the full committee. I was the chairman of the subcommittee of Commerce, Transportation, and Tourism. And that was the committee that had jurisdiction over this bill, so it was my bill that ultimately got signed. And that's the signing ceremony. I've been to a couple of signing ceremonies. The Superfund was an environmental law that was passed that I got invited to. That was by President Carter as well. President Carter was, as I say, a very intelligent man, very thoughtful man, very sensitive, progressive man, but he just didn't come across on television. Maybe his southern accent or whatever it was, he came across as somebody that didn't look particularly smart, very slow speaking. It was really unfortunate because he was very, very skilled. And during the next administration, I shifted from doing things good and progressive to try to defend things from happening that were bad. There was a lot of effort during the President Reagan's years to do some things that were hostile to the environment and were not particularly good policy, in my mind. He obviously thought they were good things to do away with. And I fought on the defense. I tried to stop bad things from happening.
Thank you.
You served as a senator and a governor. Which job did you prefer and why?
Well, actually, I was a congressman and governor, and they're different. They're different jobs. They each have nice, attractive things. They just have some unattractive things. The legislature, that is the legislature in New Jersey where I served, and Congress and I served, allows you to go into subjects more deeply because you don't have the responsibility for everything. You just are on a committee that deals with transportation or health care or whatever, and therefore you can specialize to a high degree. And that's satisfying to me. On the other hand, when you're a governor or a mayor, you have responsibility for everything. And you have the responsibility to not just pontificate about it. That's what congressmen do. They make speeches and then they pass laws. And then they walk away. They don't have the responsibility to actually carry it out. A governor is watched very closely, and everything he or she says, people pay attention to. And then they have the responsibility of carrying out the law. And that's a whole different set of responsibilities. So I enjoyed the substance, the depth, but I also enjoyed the ability to have control over a lot of things. So each has its attractiveness.
Thank you.
I would add, too, that he is known for probably writing the most new legislation as a sitting governor, and very tough legislation, too, that is held to this day. And that's because of his background in the Congress. When you bring him out of Washington with that experience and put him in the State House, translate very well.
We have one more question for you. This one's sort of a fun one.
Oh, good.
We're not going to tell you why, but we would love to know, do either of you have a favorite song, or do you have a wedding song that is meaningful and important to both of you?
Well, I know his favorite song for me. That's probably if someone will play it, because now it's old and nobody knows it, you know which one? He'll always come look for me if we're at a party and they play that song, or he'll ask them to play it if they know it.
Okay.
Lady in Red.
Lady
Oh,
in Red.
I know.
Okay. That's a good one. And do you have a favorite song as well? Is that also your
Yes,
favorite?
there's a Neil Diamond one that a long time ago even know Neil Diamond, and a little unknown song, but it is the story of my life. Begins and ends with you.
While we were listening, does anyone in the audience have a question that is unplanned that came up? If you heard something that you thought was interesting, or you'd like to hear more about something?
Yes, Gov and Mrs Florio, Kathleen Sullivan. You've had so many incredible experiences over the years with so many people. Could you just reflect upon one or two that really have been the most memorable for you or had the greatest impact on you?
Yeah, you go first.
Well, you're right. There's so many things that are very important. I guess my daughter is a doctor, and she is married to a doctor. And she has two girls. The girls are like 15,
No, no, yeah, 15.
15 and 18, I guess. And just experiencing these two little girls who have been very fortunate. Obviously, they have two parents who are reasonably well off. They've gone to expensive preschools. They paid more for tuition for their preschool than I paid for college. They've been to very expensive elementary and secondary schools, and now one is in college, a very nice college. They both speak French, Italian, Latin. These are scary girls. They're like, since they've been 13, they've been the equivalent of 40-year-olds. And it's just a nice inspiration to know that somewhere I had something to do with that.
Thank you.
Governor, First Lady, what advice would you give to youngsters thinking about a career in public service?
Well, I guess the advice that I would give is think about it. I mean, don't reject it out of hand. This is graduate students that I teach. I had a hard time a couple of times having somebody tell me that they wanted to be involved in civic affairs, they're very much committed to public service, but they didn't want to be involved in politics. I told them it doesn't work that way. Politics is absolutely essential to be able to allocate resources. That's how we make decisions. If you don't like politics, get involved in it and change it. So that's what I would tell students. If you have any thoughts about careers, don't be adverse to being involved in politics. And again, you don't have to run for office. People in local government, local politics are citizens. They're people you know, maybe even parents or so on. Get involved in politics, and if it's something that strikes your fancy, then follow a career, become involved in public service. And again, in public service doesn't mean election office, administrative office. Most of the people that graduate from the Blaustein School go into positions in government that are not necessarily elective government. Go and run county clerk, county offices, work for a congressman, work for a senator, staff people, and things of that sort. So if you're inclined to public service, you should, when you go through the menu of things that you have the potential to do, always look at public service as a potential area that you might have some interest in.
I will tell you one story about a young woman who came to work in a congressional office from New Jersey, and she is now in New Brunswick after working on campaigns, working in many different fields, but always involved in political issues and a strong supporter of my husband. She later went on, after her involvement in politics and campaigns, to run a small hospital for children, and now she's the head of the New Brunswick Children's Hospital in New Brunswick. So she is somebody that just had a broad experience, but a part of her life was working for the right people to be in position and in the office.
She started as an intern in my office.
Intern in the office. She still keeps in touch with us, and it's very, very nice when we do get to see her, because she's nearby, so we can. But to know that she had a career starting as a professional person in the office, helping out, and then worked her way up, and now is the administrator of the Children's Hospital.
I had another student who worked with me in Washington when I was in Congress. She interned with me when we were doing some environmental bills. 10 years later, she wrote me a letter, and said that she had just been appointed, received an award as California's outstanding environmental lawyer. And she said that I got my start in the environment working in your office. I went to college, I went to law school, and now I'm the outstanding environmental lawyer in California. It's very inspirational as well.
actually a comment and then a question. I'm Susan Fetchman, Vice Principal. First of all, as a child who loved going down to the Jersey Shore, in the early 80s, my parents stopped taking us there because of the state that they were in. And now as an adult, because of all of the work that you've done, I've actually been able to relocate down the shore, so thank you for that. I truly, truly appreciate that. As far as my question goes, is there anything, any kind of vision that you have for the state? Where would you like to see New Jersey go in the next, say, 10, 20 years?
Well, I'd like to help people who are in what we would call the working class. My father worked in a shipyard. Lucinda's father was a merchant seaman. So we now talk about middle class all the time. And that's fine. People in the middle, wherever the middle is. But we skip blue-collar people who are really having a hard time because those types of jobs are going away. And there's a lot of people in that area that need job training, have to be encouraged to develop the skills necessary. Because we don't compete very well on some of those types of jobs. I mentioned before, the auto workers. When I was in office, we had a big plant, a GM plant in Linden, New Jersey, not far from here. And we had a big Ford plant in Edison. Literally hundreds of people worked there. And I went down there, we gave them some money to do training. And they trained them for a while, but they trained them on how to use robots. And the bottom line is that those factories are gone. The job opportunities are gone. The people that used to go into those job opportunities are gone. And we have to pick up on that because there are a whole lot of people around that are struggling. They get jobs. People who used to make $20 an hour at an automobile class, as a UAW person, maybe now be working as a clerk somewhere, getting $10 an hour, $12 an hour. That's an area of New Jersey that used to be strong. It really is not, but we should really do something about it. So job training and education are almost the keys to success for those people.
Does anyone have any other questions for Governor and Mrs. Florio today? Okay. Can we please give them a big round of applause? Cannot thank you enough for this outstanding opportunity. Our students, because of your generosity and kindness in bringing all these artifacts and your knowledge to us, have just broadened our ability to be better citizens at this point in their lives and to continue this project here and now into the future. The information that you shared with us will be invaluable for a part of our Metuchen 350 Oral History Project and Showcase. We thank you and we appreciate everything in your service to our state and our country. We can't thank you enough. I'm absolutely thrilled that you came.
Let me just say that one of my mother's favorite words was excellent. She excel. She used to tell me, whatever you do, do it the best way possible. You're going to be a butcher or a shoemaker, be the best butcher, the best shoemaker. And that's a good thumb rule to keep with you. Always do your best at whatever it is you do. So good luck. And thank you for letting us come.
Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
They're right.
Oh, that is right.
So when you see me running outside,
Now I used to say it to you. I always say it to you. Would it be all right if we took a picture with the students? So we'll gather them around you for part of our you're probably better at this than I am. Maybe right here. And then we'll put all the people behind you. That's all good. All right, and then I'll definitely. Good, huh? And then we'll send this to you as well. Okay, so let's, guys, you start going right behind them, and then we'll make sure.
come up front.
I think we have a couple more.
Okay, some of you taller guys, move in towards the center, and everybody kind of, Eric, there you go. Don't try to hide.
We have more room over here. Forehead. Great, thank you. We took a lot of pictures every day.
Oh, I learned to keep your chin up when you learn how to pose, right?
Keep your chin up.
I might also say that I actually live in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I'm from Scotch Plain, and I moved here about 9 years ago. And that's what I had read, yes, I love it up there, and I have a present for you. Who do you think lives down the street from you?
So A1 just wanted over, so
Are you home?
Yeah. And I met him because he opened up the St. Luke's Hospital where my son works. So
Does anyone have a dog?
Let's send it to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then we mess up, you know, over the
Oh, we had, well, what things we do when we have an event like this,
So I'm just
is
gonna
we
write
put
you
it on our
a pass to go
master
to the
email list.
cafeteria.
Please encourage your students and they will make up their work.
And 15 minutes.
So they're, no, they totally understand. Yeah, so Larry Holmes is about 5 minutes away from me, so I have a picture and you. I have a picture and it's your present for doing.
Oh, that would be so much fun to have.
Now I'm going to grab up all our pictures and everything I made for you and the flowers. I think probably, what's the best way to go, Chris, for them to pull up, right, to the front?
Yeah, go for one.
I'm so sorry the bus,
Pull off the car.
I'm sorry the bus was there, you couldn't pull
No,
up
we didn't need to pull off in front. We didn't want to, no, we didn't want to be in the way of that. We just, without parking.
Yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll pack everything up, just give us a few minutes, and these are just valuable. Will we be able to present some of these to the showcase?
You just tell me what you need and I'll make sure it's there.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, this is so nice to meet you. Now this class is what level?
Oh, thank you for taking that.
Chris. Oh, thank you. Let's take a number here. It always goes on this jacket at once, so. Anyway.
Okay, well, how are we going to get together?
It's really fun thing here. We're going to get all the stuff there.
Yes.
And yes, and they'll bring all this.
Well, I just want to make sure I get them. I just want to make it. Right, I'm going to get your bin for you that you brought.
Okay, this will help, because I know a lot of things I brought you may not have had time to look at, but it's just a sample.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because when we arrived, I've never been lived in. It was like I realized that I had to put a house together, put a mansion together. So working with construction crews, getting permits from lawyers.
Yeah, let's put this is her bin.
To do it,
Put the soft things on the
but
bottom.
it was worthwhile doing it right now. People use it before they did not use it. And you can visit it. If you call down to Princeton, you look at the whole information and say, Grum Plackett, governor's residence in Princeton, or a number, you can find out when the tour date is. It's usually Wednesday. You used to do it Tuesday, they do it Wednesday. And you go down, it's open, you go in, park in the grounds, you tour the houses, you go through things. That only the downstairs. The living quarters, you don't get to see. But the gardens are, first we did the downstairs of the house. I worked on that, straightened out things there. And then we redid the whole upstairs so you can live in it. And most of the downstairs is antiques and more than the other those houses where the children had bedrooms upstairs, we had reception there, and the kids had upstairs. So the governors with large families, they just the two of us. But it's beautiful. It's like this, with this beautiful silver piece in the middle. That is from Loudoun, New Jersey. The two ladies on the flag, you know, the emblems of our flag.
Well, no, it's okay. So,
And, you know, it's very formal, but it's very, you know, very
I'll get a card.
built the first
Which
part.
card? Oh, all right.
Oh, all right.
I didn't know if we should run over this board.
Yeah, we've got boards and then I'm going to give you all my ordinary. If you like, I hope you like it. I wanted to surprise you.
It is so much, I can't believe it. See, I thought this was white as
My daughter, she's like the computer wizard. What Governor Florio was saying about the mobility yesterday. My daughter is like her and them. So like Christian cancer.
You know, this was the hardest job I ever had. And I walked into there, and there was so many things that I had to do. And it was time I just walked into school. I was campaign, I wasn't trying to sit back on stage.
Right.
Now, they found me just everyone's
Even now? No, I thought maybe they
constant, right? But I cannot believe how hard I worked. And I compare it now to just finishing the wheelchair, the Y, which was a transition. Now it's time to stop.
Enjoy yourself, and you have children up in Boston, you said, and in New Hampshire. Oh, I have to get the name. Maybe my cousin Brenda knows.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because she's well, what happened was she got right.
Kathy, I think Kathy still uses her maiden employer. She might still be out.
Brenda actually graduated from the College of New Jersey. Is that interesting? And then she went up to New Hampshire and got her doctorate with cancer research. And then she got so she can go back to her master's. How waste, and then Dartmouth told her that you're going to be in charge of the body.
Really? Was it?
Yeah. So let me put all this together in another way. And these are yours. Now, I don't know how, believe me, I'm bad with orchids. I left the instructions to do orchids well. I'll carry it for you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Oh, pleasure. Pleasure.
Anytime.
And once again, you guys have this. This is recent.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to just tell you how extremely proud I am of each and every one of you. For the last couple of weeks, though you may not realize it, I've been watching your progress from afar. Been seeing the hard work that's been done insofar as gathering information on all of your interview subjects, the hard work that goes into researching their lives, developing thoughtful questions, then sitting down and getting in front of these people and asking those questions. You conducted yourselves like true young adults, and we are just so proud of each and every one of you, okay? And I want to really stress upon you the importance of a point made by the governor and the former First Lady, that education is the key to success, all right? And that education doesn't stop within these four walls. When you go out into the world, your education is in what you read in the newspapers, what you make of the information, the questions you ask of the people within your community. My sincere hope for every single one of you is that you continue to affect positive change in your communities. Okay? So once again, so very proud of each and every one of you. Thank you, Mrs. Florio.
You guys can go ahead. You're going to go to period 4.